the son of a timekeeper. In my next life, my father was the king's timekeeper. Every day, my father would have to sound bells at 12 intervals during the day from sunrise to sunset, and 12 more intervals during the night from sunset to sunrise. The king at first thought that because we have only 10 fingers, 10 intervals should be used. My father convinced the king that 12 is a better number to use because 10 could be divided by only 2 and 5, while 12 could be divided by 2, 3, 4, and 6. He used the position of the sun or stars to determine when he should signal the time intervals. As long as the sky was clear, he had no problems, but whenever the sky was cloudy, he had to guess at the precise time the bells should be sounded. A few times when the sky suddenly cleared, it was clear that he guessed wrong, and it caused the king to get angry, and my father to get scared, and my mother to get worried. So when I was about 15 years old, my father had this great idea that at first I did not like at all. He claimed that he could count time precisely without the sun or stars by simply counting numbers. He had me move stones from one pile to another and timed me with the sun. Whenever the sun or stars were covered, I would start to move my pebbles. By counting the number of pebbles, my father could calculate and estimate how much time passed. And for every notch on the sundial, I moved 100 stones. This method of measuring time proved so exact that my father was given praise and a bonus for his accuracy. When I was a young man and I was moving pebbles one dark day, I must have dropped my water jug too hard on the ground. When the sun came out after a few hours and I could stop, I noticed that my water jug was just about empty of water. It then dawned on me that I could use dripping water to count time instead of moving pebbles. By the time I was an adult, I made a device that dripped water all day and night into a deep, narrow, transparent glass container. I calibrated the container with levels in the same way that sundials were calibrated, except my container showed hours and minutes during day and night, independent on the weather. The king was very happy with my invention. He allowed my family to continue to be his timekeepers, but instead of moving pebbles, we made timekeeping machines for the king's family and friends. With time, we made better and smaller timers using sand instead of water. The son of a beggar. One life I was born a very poor beggar's son and then ended up to be a very rich thief. My father was blind, and as a small, thin child, I was sent out with him to beg in the wealthy neighborhoods. I thought it easier to steal for an hour in the night than to beg for an entire day, so I became a burglar. I was small enough to squeeze between the bars of iron gates in windows, and I stole gold, jewelry, gems, and other valuables. I grew very agile and could climb the highest and most fortified walls. As I grew older and bigger, I could no longer fit into the small cracks in people's homes, so I taught my children all of my skills. Before long, we were the best crooks in the city and had enough money to buy whatever we wanted. My wife got tired of my being away most nights and suggested I offer to insure people's wealth from being stolen and to protect it instead of stealing it. When my sons grew older, they built a house like a fortress and offered rich people a safe place to keep their money, jewelry, and other valuables and ensure their safety from being lost. We had a great amount of gold that we had stolen many years before. One of my daughters suggested that we melt the gold and mold small pieces with pictures of the king. His gold pieces were so sought after by people that they gradually changed from being a collector's item to a medium for paying for goods and services and for settling debts. Soon no one was able to trade without using our gold molded pieces people called money.